So one of the first things you're going to need to do if you're going to be submitting a notice of work, or even if you're going to be working a claim in general, is to identify if there's any private property on the claim, and then notify those landowners that you're going to be there working. So today I'm going to show you how to identify if there is private property there, and then how to notify the landowners. First thing you're going to need to do is go on to Mineral Titles and find the claim that you're interested in. I'm going to just do that by viewing placer titles. I'm going to navigate to it on the map and check out to see if there's any private property parcels overlapping the claim. So let's look at the one I have here on Boundary Creek. I know it has some private property issues that I have to deal with. The landowner's there on both sides of the creek, so I have to send off a landowner notification to let them know I'm going to be there working. These little claims here are all off by themselves and in a populated area. There's ranches on both sides. The ranch land does have roads leading down to the claim, and I'd like to be able to use those roads. Right now I just want to sample this claim. This isn't the one I'm going to be putting the notice of work in for. I'm just sampling this claim a little bit to see if it's got anything worthwhile on it. Okay, here's the claim right here, this little guy. And you can see that the gray boxes around it are private property. And the one that I am interested in is, I want to get to right about, where is it? Right about here on this claim. So this is the piece of private property that I need to identify and locate the landowner. Easiest way I've found is to use this tool here, Identify Visible. You click on that tool, and then anywhere you click on the map, it'll tell you everything underneath what you've clicked. Waterways, parcels, claims, everything. And in this case, it shows me that there's a private property parcel here. And this here is what I'm looking for, is that it's private land. I need to know this PID number, the parcel identification number. And I'm going to highlight that, Control C to copy it, and now it's in the memory of the computer. That's what I need to start with, that PID number. And that's that piece of property that overlaps my claim. I'm then going to go and look up a property title search. So I could just into Google search, property title search. And there are a couple different websites that you can do property title searches on, but the one that I find most convenient is this Land Titles here, Land Title Survey Authority. Now, I like this one, the LTSA, because you can sign up for a free account and they only charge you when you do a search, and they charge it directly to your Visa. Some of the other ones you have to sign up for an account and give them a deposit of $100 or $150, and then as you do searches they just take the money off that deposit. But this one here, you can actually go through and sign up for a free account, and they only charge you as you use it. A little bit convenient. Okay, I do have an account already. You may have to sign up for your own account. Well, you will if you want to use this. Signing in here. See if I can remember my password. And log in. Now that I've logged in, it goes straight to the search screen where I can put in that PID, the parcel identification number. So Control V will now paste it into that box there, and I can hit search. Now, one really nice thing about this one is before you pay for a proper property title search, it does give you a little bit of information. And one of the things it gives you is the homeowner's or the landowner's name. It does it a bit strange because it gives you the name in a funny order. It gives the first name first, the comma then last, and rather than the other way around. It looks kind of funny, but you get used to it real quick. And if you want, you can actually go and continue and order the full title search. Or, what I find a little bit more convenient is if I can just copy this copy his name, then go on to Canada 411. And then within here, I can search for his name in that area. And that does give me the option of identifying who he is and what his mailing address is without actually paying for a title search, which a title search does cost like $10, $15, something like that. So I'm going to type in here his name. I'm going to switch it over to be just BC. And then look at how many of people with that name are around. And remember, I am looking for something right now in the Midway area. And look at this. We have, there it is, Midway, BC on Norwegian Creek Road. And that is the road. If I go back here, the road that goes up here towards the claim, that is Norwegian Creek Road. And there is someone with that name. Yep, there is someone with that name on Norwegian Creek Road. Now I have the information I need that I can send over send out a landowner notice and let him know that I'm going to be on his property or crossing over his property to do some work. Now that you know the landowner's name and address, you need to fill out a form and mail it off to him. You have some different options. You can hand deliver it to his door. You can mail it to his address. If he's given you an email or email address, you can email it off to him. In this case, we know his mailing address, so we are going to mail off a form. You will need to go onto Mineral Title's website again. And off on the left-hand column, you'll see down near the bottom here where it says Free Miners Landowner Notification. That is the page that gives you all the information about what you have to do and how you have to do it. And you can read through all the information if you want. There are a couple of really good links down here at the bottom. The fact sheet for landowners, fact sheet for miners, and the questions and answers. In fact, when I send off a landowner notification, I'll usually send off the question and answers as well. So that the landowner knows what's actually going on. Most of them don't know their responsibilities or legal requirements to allow a miner through their property. So this does give them that information, plus it also gives them some links to go and check out more information. When you keep scrolling down here, you will find the notice form. The notice form is the form you have to fill out to send off to them. Click on that and it'll bring it open. You can print this form or fill it in on the computer to email it off to them. I print off a whole bunch of forms and just keep them with me in the vehicle when I'm going around. That way, if I do find I need to give out a form while I'm in the field, or if I can find the homeowners while I'm there, I have a form with me and I can fill it out and just give it to them right away. You do want to keep a copy of your forms. You don't need to submit a form to the government saying that you've notified the landowner. So if there is ever a conflict, the landowner says, no, I didn't get one, or anything like that, you do want a copy of it so you can prove that you have given that form. The ones I fill out in the field, I just take a quick snapshot with my camera. After I fill it out, the ones I fill out at home, I will keep a copy at home. You're going to fill out things in here like the name of the landowner, what his address is, postal code, all of his contact information. You need to fill out the name and information of yourself or whoever owns the claim. And then the information of what you're planning to do. The fact that you plan to enter his property, and then some of the activities, how many people are going to be there, what the dates are that you'll be there, and you can be broad with those dates. I'm going to be there sometime between July 1st and August 31st. You can be broad with those dates. The more specific, the better, but you can be broad with them. What you're going to be doing, if you're digging a hole, running a high banker, just crossing the land. Yeah, unfortunately, crossing a piece of property is enough that you need to notify the landowner. Even if you're not mining on that property, just crossing it, you need to notify them. Then you sign it, date it, and mail it or hand deliver it to the person. And as I said, keep a copy. just in case there's ever a conflict in the future. Once you've filled out and sent off the form, you do have to wait 8 days before you can go onto that person's property. I believe it's 8 days from when they receive the form. So if you are mailing it, you need to give a few more days for the mailing process. And then 8 days and you're able to go onto that property and do your work. Now there are some requirements. You can't damage land. If there are any damages to the land, you have to compensate the owner. There are certain pieces of land you can't go on. You can't go on to what they say is a land occupied by a building. That means you can't dig underneath someone's house. You can't work on any land that is cultivated or groomed. Like you can't work on their lawn or their flower gardens. You can't go and work in a farmer's hayfield. There are some rules, historic sites and protected lands, but if it's just a wilderness piece of property, a miner has a right to go onto that property and work as long as you've filled out this form. One of the confusing things that confuse a lot of people, that terminology that you can't work a piece of land that has a building on it. Well, that doesn't mean that if a person has 100 acres and they have some little shack on it somewhere that you can't work anywhere on that land. No, the terminology about having a building on it means you can't work on the land underneath the building, underneath the foundation. But it also talks about the cultivated area around the building and farmers' fields and stuff. So as long as it's natural land, you have your rights. Hopefully this video has helped a little bit and given you some information on what you need to do for landowner notification. And I will be continuing on the series of submitting a NAL. The next video I'm going to look at the online process of going through a NAL, where you go to find that process. Have a great day. Bye.